Hello guys, this is my first YouTube video on my new channel. This video is going to be me replacing the passenger side rear wheel hub bearing on my 2014 Malibu. This channel is going to be maintenance all about my car, which is a 2014 Chevy Malibu. I might post a different vehicle doing maintenance on it, and I also might just post some other random stuff. But I hope you enjoy this video and definitely learn something from it. Also, this video is going to be voiced over after recording all this. I'm not sure if I'll do this on every video, but it's just what I'm trying out for my first video. So first, right away, you're going to have to jack up your car, get your wheel off the ground for this. These points here are exactly where I jacked and then put the stand. You are going to have to reuse your jacking pump later, so make sure you have a jack stand to put under it because you have to reuse the pump later. Next, you're going to take off the lugs for your wheel. Mine's a 7/8. Once you have your lug nuts off, put them in a spot you're not going to lose them. This goes for everything you're going to take off. After that, you're going to take your 18mm wrench and take out the mounting bolts for your brake assembly. There's one on the bottom here and then one on the top. Once those are out, you're going to easily be able to slide off your braking assembly. Just take that off and then put it up somewhere on a wire or zip tie, just so there's no stress on your hydraulic lines. After that, you can take your T30 bit and remove the T30 fastener holding on your rotor. I've noticed some cars don't even have this, but once it's free, you can take your dead blow hammer, knock it off. Might be a little hard, I freed it right there. After you have your rotor off, we have to remove the upper control arm out of the way for later. So this is where you're going to need your pumping jack again, and you're going to put it on the lower control arm and bring it to a point where the bolt is level, and then will make it very easy for it to come off. Once you have that bolt out, it'll slide out very easily if you have it at the right level. And then once your bolt's out, just move the control arm out of the way. It doesn't need to be reinforced or anything. It just needs to be out of the way for a bolt we need later. Now, before we start taking the bearing off, we need to remove the ABS sensor. So here's where it is. That's what it looks like. And it's a 10mm bolt you need to take out. Now, to actually free your wheel bearing, there's going to be 3 18mm bolts. I used a wrench and a socket with a ratchet. These 3 bolts were definitely the hardest part of the project, so I suggest some free-all or any means of making it easier, which I did use, but it was still very hard. There's 1 bolt on the bottom and then 2 on the top. All 3 of these bolts I was able to get out with my 8-inch ratchet, but I suggest maybe something like 16 inches, but not too long because you are working in the wheel well, but anything to get some more leverage on them. Once you have these 3 bolts removed, you'll be able to remove your bearing. Make sure you clean this area very well, including the holes that the fasteners go through. I just used paper towel, wire brush, and some brake cleaner. Once you have the area very clean, you can apply your anti-seize. Make sure you get it on the face too. And try not to get it in the ABS sensor hole. I've done it before, it doesn't matter, but you don't want your sensor to be dirty. Here's the anti-seize that I used. Make sure you put it on the inside ring and the face of the knuckle, and then the same mounting surfaces on your new part. When you're reinstalling your 18mm bolts for the bearing, make sure you put some drops of thread locker on them. Remember to install your dust shield between your knuckle and your bearing before you thread it on. Everyone and their grandma's dog has forgotten this. Whoops. And then just make sure to wipe down any surface you may have touched while installing your bearing. Next, we're going to put back the ABS sensor, so make sure your hole is clean and your sensor's clean. Then you can just put the 10mm fastener back in. It just has to be hand tight in another turn or so. After your ABS sensor is back in, we're going to have to raise up the working area again to reinstall that upper control arm bolt. So remember, we're going to get our pumping jack and just lift it up from the bottom control arm. Once you have your jack under the lower control arm again, bring it to a level where both bearings are level and you can reinstall your bolt. This should be brought to a level where it is very easy to slide back in just like this. And remember to have the nut facing the trunk of the vehicle. After the upper control arm was reinstalled, you can lower your jack safely. Then next you'll put on your rotor and make sure to wipe down both of your braking surfaces with some brake cleaner. Remember to install the T30 screw holding on your rotor, After that's done, you can reinstall the braking assembly through the gap in the brake pads, making sure to align the spots where the bolts need to go back in. These two 18mm bolts holding on your braking assembly will also need to have some drops of thread locker installed on them. Once your braking assembly has been tightened back down top and bottom, you can put your wheel back on, then hand thread the lug nuts back on, and safely lower your car back down, torquing your lug nuts to 110 pounds. We will now take the car for a road test. As you can see, when I start up the car, I have been getting my ABS and traction control warning come on. I installed this exact same part on the other side of my car, so I know after driving for about 2 minutes, the light should disappear. In this clip, I'm only about 30 seconds away from my house on my test drive, and as you can see, the light goes away. Thank you for watching my first video. Please subscribe and comment anything you'd like to see me do next. Have a good day.